the prime time 8 p.m. game, as it should be. It's the
These are
Buccaneers.
all the Saturday games.
Yep.
Okay.
It's the Buccaneers versus the Washington football team. And many people right now are thinking, if this is a possible upset, the Bucs this year are 1-5 against 500 teams. They lost to the Bears. They lost to the Saints twice. They lost to the Rams. They lost to the Chiefs. But they did beat the Packers, who do hold the first seed, and they embarrassed the Packers. And I think this matchup is all about Washington's pass rush versus Tampa's offensive line. Can Donovan Smith hold back Chase Young just enough? I don't think he can, because Donovan Smith has been horrible all season. He's been their problem on the offensive line most of the time. But the Bucs are hot. Like, the Bucs are hot since their Week 13 bye, and that's what I said. Give them time to figure it out. That bye week, they didn't go out and party. They didn't go out and just chill. They got to work, and it showed. They have won 4 straight. They're averaging 37 points per game, and since that Week 13 bye, Tom Brady has thrown for 1,333 yards, 12 touchdowns, 1 interception in a 4-game stretch. And I'm pretty sure he reached 40 touchdowns. And I think he has the most deep passing yards in the NFL. He's definitely top 3 according to PFF. And I've been saying it, man. Tom Brady is not washed. He has a great, strong arm still and always did. And I think we're realizing it now. You look at the Patriots. What are they doing? The Patriots right now have the same receivers, basically, that Brady had last season. Mm-hmm. Cam Newton has thrown 8 passing touchdowns, I believe, for the whole season. Like it's a number between 5 to 8.
He's been horrible.
Tom Brady threw 24 last season for the Patriots. That's how much of a difference that greatest of all time makes. So when you said Drew Brees was better than him in the beginning of the year, you were flat out disrespectful.
Well, I don't mean you like you said with the Seahawks, how that defensive number is inflated. I'm looking at these couple games after that bye. Vikings, Falcons twice, Lions. So, I mean, like you said, a little inflated because these teams aren't that good. But nonetheless, back to the matchup. I think we should all pick the Bucs to win. I think it's no doubt. I think defensively, that pass rush on the Washington side is going to give the offensive line trouble. But at the end of the day, I think Tampa's defense is one of the best in the league. And I think offensively, Washington isn't going to have enough to keep up with Tampa Bay at the end of the day. And even though Washington has had a good season, they've been good, I just think this matchup, Tampa Bay is too overpowering. I like Mike Evans out there. I like Antonio Brown out there. I like Chris Godwin out there, Rob Gronk. It's just too many weapons for Washington to overcome, and I think Chase Young just won't be enough. So I would probably take Tampa Bay.
They have more than that, though.
Is Mike Evans playing?
He's questionable with that knee.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's playing or not, but he's questionable right now. I'm not sure. But even if he
I don't
wasn't
think
playing,
it makes a difference in my pick. I just didn't. I couldn't find.
But even if he isn't playing, I think Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, and Gronk and Scotty Miller, I think that's enough.
Yeah. Ronald Jones Jr., I think that's enough in my opinion.
I want to pick the Washington football team so badly. Everything inside of me is telling to pick the Washington football team. I don't know why. I have a feeling, but as somebody who's watched, the entire football season, the Buccaneers are clearly a better team all around. I mean, they have a strong defense. They have incredible weapons offensively. They have Tom Brady, a quarterback. If Alex Smith was healthy, I would feel much better about the Washington football team. They're 5-1 in games that he starts this year, but he is hindered by that calf injury. And I heard Ron Rivera even say that they might alternate quarterbacks or use like a 2-quarterback system, which if Taylor Heineke is coming in the game, he has no chance. I'm sorry. You can't alternate quarterbacks in a playoff game and have it work out. They're going to have to live and die with Alex Smith, and he's not going to be that mobile. So if the Buccaneers pass rush can get to him, which they more than likely will, it's going to be a very long day for that offense. But defensively, I think the Washington football team can be in very good shape. They're second in passing defense. They're second in yards and points allowed. They're averaging just 5.7 points a game in the second half, and that number drops all the way down to 3 points a game in the second half when they play at home. So that defense not only plays great, but when it gets down to crunch time, they keep the opponent off the board in the second half in close games. So, I think that defense can definitely hold their own. You mentioned, I think Chase Young is going to have a big day getting to Tom Brady. Tom Brady's not the most mobile quarterback, so I think they can make him uncomfortable. I don't think it's going to be a big blowout like a lot of people might be expecting. I think they can keep it close, and I don't know. If they can get it close at halftime, maybe they have a chance, but like I said, with Alex Smith having to deal with that injury, the Bucks pass rush defense, they're averaging the second highest pressure percentage in the league. So they're going to be getting to Alex Smith, who can't really move around that well, and that's going to hinder an already not great offense. So I just don't see how they can keep up offensively with the Bucks.
And right now, Devin White is out. He had COVID. I think he tested positive for COVID. So Devin White is out. That's their leading tackler. And although the Buccaneers defense is phenomenal, they have the best run defense in the NFL, their pass defense isn't. That's the weakest part. They're 21st in yards allowed through the passing game. Carlton Davis versus Terry McLaurin, that's going to be the matchup. Logan Thomas versus Levante David, most likely. So for me, I'm not sure if they can shut down Washington. I think that's their best chance because I think Washington can probably hold the Bucks to under 20 points. Like, I can see it. You mentioned Chase Young, but they got Montez Sweat, who's leading the team in sacks. Yeah. Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne. Their passing secondary is one of the best in the NFL. Cameron Curl, a rookie, has emerged. So, I think they hold them under 20 points. That offense just needs to score. And you mentioned Alex Smith. He's injured. I'm not sure if they can do that because also Antonio Gibson's dealing with an injury. Yeah. J.D. McKissick is their best option, but I think their defense can scheme up enough pressure and different looks to neutralize their offense. Their offense usually comes from screens and dumping off to the running back and then gaining yards off that. If you can stop that and hone in on that, they have a great chance of just shutting down their offense the entire game. For me, of course, I'm going to go with the Buccaneers because that's my Super Bowl pick. But I could see the Washington football team upsetting them. Like, I could see it. It's not like I can't see it. And Chase Young even said he wants Tom Brady.
I love that.
Which when he said that, I was like, oh, yeah, they're going to lose. I was like, oh, yeah, Washington's going to get embarrassed. But then Bruce Arians said that's one of those scenarios where you got to be careful what you wish for. And then when Bruce Arians opened his mouth, I was like, man, he just ruined it. Because you're basically just talking smack back. And once you do that, I feel like you give them even more motivation to go out there. So
I love it out of Chase Young, though, and I think that is in line with what he's been all year. He's been, as a rookie, the heart and soul of that Washington football team, at least the Washington football team defense. And, you could see it. He's had multiple mic'd up segments this year where you could just see his leadership coming out in all different kinds of ways and him going out with this confidence in a matchup where a lot of people aren't even giving them a chance. It just goes to show you, what his mindset is, what his attitude is. And I don't think that the Washington football team feels like underdogs this week. I feel like they're right in this, and, they think they have just as good a chance to win as anybody. Like I said, they're 5-1 in games that Alex Smith starts. They're a totally different team when he's on the field, and although he might be hurt, they don't have to deal with Dwayne Haskins or, whoever it may be at quarterback holding them back. So I think it could be a close one. If they can keep it within one score at halftime, I could see them pulling off an upset. But if the Bucks get going in the first half and they extend that lead past, a touchdown or more, I think that the Washington football team will be done.
Well, the good thing is that the Bucks are 1-5 against 500 teams, but Washington isn't a 500 team. So it doesn't really pertain to them because they're 7-9. Only made the playoffs because they're in a weak division, pretty much.